With the Boston Celtics securing the top seed, the competition for the remaining playoff spots must be intense. Teams will be battling it out to secure favorable seeding and home court advantage for the playoffs. The last few games of the regular season are crucial for teams looking to secure their positions or even make a late push into the playoffs. It'll be exciting to see how everything unfolds as the regular season comes to a close. In the Eastern Conference, the competition is likely fierce among teams jockeying for playoff positioning. Besides the Boston Celtics at the top, other teams such as the Philadelphia 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks, and Miami Heat might be in contention for high seeds. Meanwhile, teams like the Atlanta Hawks, Chicago Bulls, and Charlotte Hornets may be fighting for their playoff lives or striving to improve their seeding. The play-in tournament adds another layer of excitement and uncertainty, as teams just outside the top 8 will have a chance to earn their way into the playoffs. These games can be high-stakes battles with everything on the line. As the regular season wraps up, keep an eye on key matchups and standings updates to see how the Eastern Conference playoff picture unfolds. Every game counts, and the intensity will only ramp up as teams vie for postseason glory. Some intriguing storylines to watch in the Eastern Conference as the regular season concludes include health and momentum, how are teams managing injuries, and which squads are hitting their stride at the right time. Injuries can significantly impact a team's playoff prospects, so staying healthy and building momentum heading into the postseason are crucial. Rookie impact, are any rookies making significant contributions to their team's playoff pushes? The performance of first-year players can be a wild-card factor in determining playoff success, especially if they step up in big moments. Coaching adjustments, how are coaches adapting their strategies as the postseason approaches? Playoff basketball often requires teams to make tactical adjustments, and the ability of coaches to effectively manage rotations, matchups, and game plans can be a difference-maker. Emerging contenders, are there any dark horse teams emerging as legitimate threats in the Eastern Conference? Sometimes, under-the-radar teams can catch fire at the right moment and surprise the league with deep playoff runs. Tiebreaker scenarios, with teams vying for playoff seeding, tiebreaker scenarios can become crucial. Pay attention to head-to-head records and divisional performance, as these tiebreakers can determine which teams secure higher seeds and home court advantage. Potential rematches, take note of any potential playoff matchups that could lead to intriguing storylines or revenge narratives based on previous regular season games. Rivalries can add extra intensity to playoff series and make for compelling viewing. Impact of trade deadline moves, evaluate how teams have adjusted following the trade deadline. Did any mid-season acquisitions significantly bolster a team's roster or change its dynamic? These moves could have ripple effects on playoff outcomes. Home court advantage, note which teams have secured home court advantage in the playoffs and how they perform in their own arenas. Home court advantage can be a significant factor in playoff series, influencing everything from crowd energy to travel fatigue. Potential upsets, stay vigilant for potential upsets in the playoffs. While higher-seeded teams are typically favored, upsets are not uncommon in the NBA postseason, especially in tightly contested matchups or due to unexpected injuries. The battle for the top seed in the Western Conference sounds incredibly intense, with 3 teams vying for the top spot. It's rare to see such a tight race for seeding, especially with the stakes being the number 1 seed and home court advantage throughout the playoffs. With the Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Denver Nuggets all tied, every remaining game becomes critical for these teams. Each victory or loss could potentially shift the standings and determine who ultimately claims the number 1 seed. Furthermore, the introduction of the play-in tournament adds an extra layer of excitement and unpredictability to the playoff race. Teams seeded 7th through 10th will have the opportunity to earn their way into the playoffs through these play-in games, making the final stretch of the regular season even more compelling. As the regular season comes to a close, fans can expect intense competition, dramatic finishes, and plenty of surprises as teams jockey for playoff positioning and fight for their postseason lives in the play-in tournament. It's shaping up to be an exciting conclusion to the NBA regular season in the Western Conference.